Hello. Alrighty, well, it's been a little bit. As you can see, I've got a little bit cooler of a setup now. So, what is it? Demonstrated suffering, I guess, is what I'm gonna be talking about today. Uh, I really, I really don't like the fact that it's like, we have to, like, demonstrate that we're kind of suffering to other people for it to be considered like valid. um like, I know, well, hot takes only here. But it's just like, I feel like the world that we kind of live in unnecessarily accelerates that, where it's like, um you know, for example, today I was just thinking about it and I was like, oh wow, I have my PCP appointment tomorrow to see if I can get the facial fat grafts that I need for the fact that you know, I recovered from anorexia and like my face was all messed up and it's still messed up. It's been several years since I recovered, and my face is still messed up and it's causing me a lot of pain. And I think about it every day. I think about it every single day whenever, I get up in the morning. I go through the same routine where I'm like, oh, like maybe today will be a little different. Maybe today will be better. And like, it's not. It's gotten to the point where I wear like a mask in a lot of places that I go. I wear like a lower face mask because it's just, I wear gloves. I wear gloves and a mask because I'm ashamed of, you know, this thing that I live in. And it's just like, so I was thinking, oh, I have my PCP appointment tomorrow where I get to go and discuss that and and see if it's even possible for me to get done, to get it covered by insurance. And it's just like, I thought, oh, well, I'm glad that it's going to be happening on the day right before my injection, because that means that I will be most capable of putting my suffering on display. I will be most capable of screaming and crying and showing how much pain that this thing has been putting me in for a very long time. And it's just like I would be willing to be a debt slave for the rest of my life to be able to like have my transition run properly. And I would be told no to that by the financial institutions that be, so I have to go and do this whole dog and pony show of like, yes, I am in pain, but I don't think that anyone who would want these procedures done is not in some variety of pain. And and just like, I feel like the reason that we err more towards doubt is not because of, any sort of, it's not gatekeeping because of like it's not gatekeeping because of transness. It's not even necessarily gatekeeping or because of like, oh, we don't know if you're trans. It's not even necessarily gatekeeping because of transphobia. It's gatekeeping because of money. It's gatekeeping because you need to demonstrate, like if you have enough money, you can get FFS no questions asked. That's a universally known thing. If you have enough money, you can get all the things immediately. And like, you don't need to go through any of this. It's not a matter of phobia quite necessarily. It's just that it's money and I don't have money. So, I get to go through the whole process where it's like, oh, well, the system really likes to put you in your place and like see you squirm. That's like one of the favorite things of, you know, like this whole surveillance industrial complex or whatever that we've built up is. It's like to see you squirm and suffer and like, you know, I need this thing so badly, please help me. It doesn't want to just exert control over your life. It wants you to demonstrate that exertion back to it, I think is what I'm trying to say. And it's just really fucked up. I mean, like a good example of it is like when, like of this thing running into sort of medical conditions where you can't demonstrate that suffering would be like whenever I had my head injury. You know, that's a very, you can't see a head injury. You can't see, well, I mean, because I remember thinking many, many times whenever I had my head injury, like, God, I really wish that, like, I had landed on the front of my face rather than, you know, I really wish that it had, like, messed up my face, that it was, like, that you know, like, that I would have gotten, like, a busted nose or, like, you know, a fucked up forehead or something. You know, my forehead's already fucked up, but that's off point. I really would have wished that would have happened, because I feel like then people would have actually been understanding towards it, because it would have been a demonstration of suffering. It would have been a visible sign that I was in pain and that I was suffering, and that, you know, that would have been me demonstrating that sort of exertion over to the systems above me. But because I didn't have that, then I just had to completely raw dog it, and, like, you know, nobody cared. I mean, nobody cares regardless. That's getting in a whole other rant that I have, where it's like, there's this whole thing that a lot of men do where it's like, oh, well, sorry. The wildfire smoke has not been very nice to me. There's this whole thing that a lot of, like, men do where it's like, you know, oh, well, nobody cares about our problems, and it's unique to me that nobody cares about my problems. Nobody's ever felt this way. You know, it's unique to me that nobody cares about my problems, and, like, you know, every single emotion that a man has to be treated with this sort of, like, what I like to call it is the Tarkovsky problem, where it's like, you know, Andrei Tarkovsky, he made a bunch of films, and, like, he says this really basic stuff, but, like, the camera work on it will treat it so seriously, and it's just like, dude, chill the fuck out. You're talking about things that, like, oh my god, you know, humans don't, it's oh my god, maybe being strong isn't always the answer. And it's just like men sort of need this, like, they constantly talk about how they aren't special, but then in doing that they make themselves special. It's the Kafka problem. It's where it's like, you know, Franz Kafka, he wrote all of these books about how, like, oh, I'm getting crushed by the gears of society. This sucks. I'm getting crushed by the gears of society. This sucks, and nobody cares, and I don't understand any of this, and yada 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 yada. And it's just like, he got to write a book about that. He got to scream, and being able to scream, it's a privilege. It is a massive privilege to be able to scream about the pain that you are in. You know, I know, here I am doing it now, but you like, this is not successful. This will never be successful, you know. But it's just like, you get what I'm getting at, right? It's like the people who sort of go through these things, they don't usually say things about it. You know, through the worst points of suffering in my life, I wasn't talking about it. I was out there handling it. And just like I feel like there's just this massive thing where it's the most privileged of us are the ones who are allowed to make the most noise about their suffering, but then the ones who are actually suffering aren't allowed to make noise about it, but they're expected to make noise about it because that's the only way to get assistance. Because, like, you know, whenever I had my head injury, if I went up to my boss and said, hey, I can't count this money. I can't count this. I can't work a cash register. I cannot put the fries in the bag, if you will. I cannot do this. Can you please help? Like, can you please help me? They're not gonna help me. They're gonna throw me the fuck out. But the thing is that all the people who are able to scream about their suffering would say, well, you should have asked for help if I didn't say something. You know, that's the first thing that they'll go with is, why didn't you say something? And it's like, I didn't say anything because I would have gotten thrown out. You know, I would have had bad things happen to me. And so there's just like, there's this expectation that you have to just demonstrate your fucking suffering to other people, and like that's how they exert their control over you, where it's just like, yeah, you gotta come to me for help, and it's I'm the one who gets to decide if you get help or not. You better remember that. And just like like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why is that the way that things are? Why is that just like how it is, and that, you know, people are expected to just accept it? You know, I know, big thoughts only here. And it's just like, it's only getting worse with time. Where now you have like AI algorithms and stuff that are doing it anyways, where you don't even get the dignity of being faced with a human being to demonstrate your suffering to. You demonstrate it to a machine. A fucking machine. I don't know. The lizard people conspiracy theorists were right, is what I'm trying to say.